Welcome back, everybody, to the Journey to be an Astronaut podcast. This is episode 2, where we're going to be talking about spacesuits. That's right, spacesuits. I think this is going to be probably my favorite episode, because this is the thing that I really want to do. It's a thing they wear when they go do extravehicular activities, EVAs. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So, we got a whole bunch of parts of this thing, but the main thing to remember is they're mostly inside. A lot of the time, they're inside the space station / spaceship. So when they do come outside, it takes a lot of preparation and it takes a lot of effort to from the ground and the other astronauts to make sure it goes well. EVAs are probably one of the most dangerous parts of the whole job, but it's also extremely essential. So, I mean, it's a give and take there. So there's a couple parts to this suit as well. You have the life support in the back, which is the little backpack we see from, you know, all the astronaut movies and such. And then you have your display and control module, which is the thing on the chest. That's where all of your your controls and stuff are going to be sitting around that control the rest of your suit, which is, I guess, by the name. You have a utility belt on the front, which you can attach so you can use, where you can put all of your separate tools and such. Like probably the coolest tool on the planet, which is the little space drill looking thing. It's got a whole bunch of different settings. And then that's also where you attach your cable, which is the thing that kind of spindles out if you let go and you kind of float off. You've got about 60 feet there that really, that's the thing that attaches you to the station / ship, whatever, / project. And then you have your jetpack on the back, which they call the Safer. The simple aid for EVA rescue. It's got 24 thrusters that fire nitrogen that you really don't want to use. But that's if your cable breaks. So all EVA people have to be able or be trained in how to use and kind of put them back to where they need to go. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so we've talked about extravehicular activity. Okay, when a spacesuit leaves the space station, it effectively becomes its own spaceship, because it's its own pressurized environment. You have temperature and particle protection. You have 14 layers of fabrics and protection that protects you from the outside world pretty much. So, and because it goes from super hot to super cold, you've got a thermostat to control the inside temperature, and you have a pressurized environment inside the suit that's also another give and take situation, because they have to they take instead of normal atmosphere pressure, they kind of cut it at a third, because it's a pressurized suit, right? So if it was at ground level, the thing would just be a giant balloon, and that's not what, and they couldn't do the work that they have to get done. So they cut it down to the kind of the lowest possible atmosphere that they can really work with. And then, yeah, that way their fingers and their elbows can move, really work on the projects. You then have your life support system, the PLSS. Let's see. So you have your oxygen that is 100% oxygen because the atmosphere is so low that they really have to work with, that they really have to have more oxygen than you think you would need. You have a camera on your little helmet here on both sides, and then as well as a camera on your display module. They have a mirror on the wrist that lets them look up at themselves and at a lot of just around them to detect any issues. And there's also a purge valve here next to your ear, as well as by your chest here. This way it purges air out. It's like scuba diving. That really allows you to. Chris Hadfield had to do it to remove all the contaminants in his suit that were blinding him. Stuff like that. And then you have your sunshade, which is this really thin pounded gold, and it kind of like goes over your mask there, so you don't go blind from looking at the sun. So then we have the display and control module. This is where your thermostat, your fans, your computer, the pressure gauge, and the volume for your headset and all that. That's where all this is gonna be. The alarms are there with the computer system to really tell you when your oxygen's getting low, when something's going wrong, and all those certain things. And then the pressure gauge is pretty explanatory, I think. But it kind of, it measures your pressure. Okay. And then finally the jetpack, which I've covered over a little bit. You have 24 nitrogen thrusters on the behind your life support, which again is in case of an emergency if your cable goes loose. And then because of all of that, and then there's a couple of places on the suit that really have to get watched over. Specifically your gloves. Those super thin compared to the rest of your suit. And they have a U-clamp. There's a U-clamp kinda sorta. So that goes over their palm that they have to pull really tight. They do this because they don't want all this fabric right here getting bunched up, which would be really not fun. So they check their gloves pretty often to make sure they're doing alright. And then you have your feet, which has a kind of material on the bottom that around the space station, places you can click in, and you have a pretty stable place to use your hands and not float away. But so yeah, that is our current spacesuit for the station. There was a new spacesuit that was made for Artemis, which is the Moon and Mars missions. which we're going back in 2024. That's what I'm talking about. And hopefully, as we go along, we can keep adding new technology in to make sure we're as safe as possible. Yep. Cool. This has been Journey to be an Astronaut podcast. Yep. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe and all that stuff if you want. And yeah, have a good day. Stay safe.